Welcome to Josh's Cemetery Chats. What's up, Bearheart Nation? How's it going out there? So this is going to be a little bit shorter video, and this video in particular, I wanted to talk a little bit about Halloween and why it's important to me, why it's such a big deal to me, and why I'm excited about it, and talk about something that's coming up in the next couple of weeks on Patreon. So stay tuned for all of that if that's something that you think sounds kind of cool. And let me know in the comments down below why you like Halloween, if you like Halloween in the fall, or if you don't, why don't you like it? I'm curious about that because for me, Halloween in the fall is one of my favorite times of year. And a lot of that has to do with the weather cooling off, the leaves changing, you have some beautiful, gorgeous scenery, especially as a photographer. You know, I go out and take pictures, whether it's pictures that I've taken in the cemetery of, you know, some of the props and stuff that I've got that I just have fun taking pictures of, or if out and taking vistas in parks and that kind of stuff. I just love the fall from a photography standpoint, but also because it's just so nice to get out. And when the weather's finally started to cool off, it's kind of like a reverse spring. So you know, in the spring, especially if you live in the northern states, you go through all winter and it's just freezing cold, it's locked down, can't really get out a whole lot because, you know, you're freezing your fingertips and everything. And then the spring kind of comes around and you can finally get outside and enjoy it a little bit. For me, it kind of is the same way with fall, because during the summer, I'm not a big fan of getting out in the summer. It is too hot. I used to love the heat when I was younger, and the hotter the better. I didn't mind it at all. When I deployed to Iraq, it was 130 degrees over there. You know, there were some hot days, but it didn't really bother me too much. Nowadays, though, as I'm getting older, I find that the heat of the summer is just unbearable. I get out and it's sticky and it's muggy and it's just miserable. So when the fall finally comes around and things start to cool off and it starts to become easier to get out, and I love that kind of stuff. Throw into that with the Halloween stuff and the ghosts and the goblins and the spookiness, and that is all so much fun because I love being scared. It's harder to get scared now for me, but I still love the feeling, and especially that little rush that comes every time that you know, whenever you get a little jump or a little spookiness going on. You know, if you're out, I've been out in plenty of cemeteries at night where it's kind of spooky, you got that kind of creepy feeling, and you know nothing's out there, but you can't really tell because it's hard to see. So that spooky feeling is just so much fun, and that's what really gets me with Halloween. And especially now as I get older, and my kids are older, so we aren't really taking them trick-or-treating anymore, but it gives me more opportunities to kind of decorate, which is one of my big things. I love decorating the house for Halloween. I've already started. I started decorating before September even started. By the time Halloween gets here, I'm sure it's going to be just a blowout. But I have fun with all of that stuff, and it's exciting. It's a fun time of year. The days are shorter. You got the creepiness going on. You got the movies that come around, and you know, I just recently watched Hocus Pocus for the first time because the second one's coming out, and I actually kind of liked it. It was kind of a fun movie. It wasn't what I was expecting. And then of course I watched one of my favorite movies from childhood, which I recently remembered. I hadn't seen it in years, and decided to pull it up and just check it out and see if it was as good as I remembered it. And that was The Halloween Tree. And if you've never seen The Halloween Tree, it was a movie based on a children's book that came out I believe in the 80s. The movie came out in the early 90s. And I remember watching it as a kid, and I watched it every year. They would have it on TV around Halloween time. It was usually on like the ABC Family Channel, if you remember that from television days. But they would play it every single Halloween, and I absolutely loved that movie. And I'd kind of forgotten about it for a few years, and then about a month ago, I decided, hey, I'm going to look it up and see if I can find it streaming anywhere. And I couldn't find it streaming, but I did actually find a download link on the Internet Archives. So I wound up downloading it and rewatching it, and it is just as good as I remembered, if not a little bit better. See, as we're getting into the fall, we get the movies and the creepiness and the color changes, and there's just all of these different reasons that I absolutely just love this season. It is my favorite season by far. You know, I enjoy Christmas. I enjoy the kind of the winter times, but the fall is just the king of seasons to me. And I hope that as I grow older, it stays that way, and I think it will, because it's kind of been getting more and more that way for me as I grow older. It makes me excited to get up in the morning. It makes me excited to think about what's coming in the next few weeks, and I can't wait to see the fall colors and the leaves change and that kind of stuff. And on the topic of Halloween, something that I wanted to bring up is from the time this video drops, which if all goes well, it should be like the 17th or 18th of September. When this video drops, from that time until September 30th, I'm actually running a special over on Patreon. So I created these the first ever Halloween Bear Heart Nation postcards that I'm mailing out to people over on Patreon. And normally to get a postcard every month, you have to sign up for the $7 tier on Patreon. But for the next couple of weeks, even the $3 tier, it doesn't matter what tier you sign up for, as long as you're signed up and everything goes through on October 1st, I will be mailing out these postcards to everybody on the list. It's a really cool opportunity. It's something I want to try to do every year is have some kind of cool, unique postcard design. And this one, I had a lot of fun making it. I actually came out a couple of days ago to take a bunch of pictures for fun, to kind of, you know, get ready for Halloween, get kind of psyched up. And I found that one of those pictures actually worked out really well for a Halloween postcard. And so I was like, okay, I'm making this. Normally, you know, I've got a vote over there for anybody that has signed up to vote on the monthly postcard. And so I put that up, and in addition to any postcard that gets voted on, I'm also sending out this Halloween postcard. So if that's something you're interested in, if you think that looks kind of cool and you'd like to get one of those in the mail, I wrote a little note on the back. It's a little personalized thing, just kind of a thank you from me to the patrons. So if that's something you're interested in, go over and check that out. I can barely speak this morning. I'm just super excited, you know, because everything is coming up, and I can't wait to get through the next couple of months. But on the other hand, I don't want it to pass too fast, because once October gets here and we get into November, it's like, okay, now we're getting kind of into the doldrums of winter. But it'll still be, I've still got a lot of fun stuff lined up even for after Halloween. It's just between now and then, a lot of super exciting stuff. But that's all for this video. I didn't want to make it too long. I just kind of wanted to briefly talk about why I love Halloween and how excited I am for the season. And I want to know down in the comments below, why do you like Halloween, or do you like Halloween in the fall? If you don't like Halloween in the fall, why don't you like them? Is it the weather too cool for you? Is it something, you know, maybe you just never really got into it? You know, I'm interested to hear that down in the comments below too. So let me know down there. But with all that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.